Hello, welcome back everybody to my corner of the world where we talk about life and we live it together. It is the finishing point of week 2. Yes, we're wrapping up week 2 of our health challenge, so that's our video today. It is the update on week 2 of our post-quarantine health challenge. Now, post-quarantine doesn't really make any sense anymore because at least Arizona is like crazy. We're kind of almost locked up again. You know, church is postponing again. We have to wear masks when we go outside. It's kind of getting a little more insane. So it's technically not a post-quarantine challenge anymore, but it's still a health challenge. And I hope you are continuing to thrive, continuing to find encouragement, continuing to do your best. I wanted to share just about my last 2 weeks and be honest with you, be vulnerable. If I'm being completely honest, I don't want to make this video because I feel really down this morning. So obviously, yes, took my measurements, took my weight, and I'll get to those in a second. And yes, I lost, which is great. Yeah, I feel discouraged if I'm being completely open with you. I feel discouraged because I tend to do this thing where I look back at pictures, old pictures of me from like, early college years or high school years, and I compare my current body to the body I had when I was in high school or early college years. It's extremely discouraging, and I tend to do this to myself a lot, not on purpose, but like happening to, be looking through photos or, things pop up on your like timeline, like Facebook's like, hey, remember this video you made like 4 years ago when you were like 20 pounds lighter? Do you remember that? Do you remember that? Do you remember that though? And so you just find yourself really discouraged, right? When you see like an old video or old picture of yourself. And I just wanted to be open with you guys that like, that's where I'm at right now. I'm really discouraged. I feel that weight of comparison just to myself. I have to pray through that a lot because it can be really detrimental to my goals and my progress and just my overall like mental health. It's very discouraging. I think I'm just saying that to like relate to you if you're experiencing discouragement. I don't really have a solution or like a, hey, well, I did this to get over it. I don't really have that. But I just wanted you to know that like I'm in this with you. Just because I'm hosting this doesn't mean it's easier for me. It's actually probably harder because I feel like there's more on the line. Like if I fail, then it like is awful. But I'm not gonna fail, and those are terrible words to say. But I just wanted you to know that like I am struggling too. If you are struggling, I have made mistakes. If you have as well, that's totally fine. And I think I want to just speak to you and encourage you, and even just encourage myself and remind us like why we're doing this, remember our long-term goals, and remember that each day is new and we have a brand new day to make completely different decisions for our overall health. So week 1 was really good for me. Of course, right? Week 1 is always the easiest. It's the kickoff. It's where all the excitement is. It's like, yes, we're gonna do this. Like, we're gonna get skinny. Woo, yeah, let's go. And then, week 2 comes around and you're kind of used to it and things are a little more normal and you kind of start to slip. And that's kind of what happened to me. So week 1, awesome. I worked out, I think 4 days last week, which was pretty good. Worked out really well and I ate super well. I tracked everything. And I think it was when I hit the first week's weekend is when it kind of started to go downhill. Obviously the weekend is like when we want to like hang out more and like go out to eat or whatever. And so week 2 for me kind of went downhill a little bit. I still got 5 workouts, so I worked out really well and still got to the gym, which was really good. I slipped on some tracking. If I ate a meal that I knew was gonna push me over on my calories, I decided to not track it because I was embarrassed or just angry at myself. There were also a lot of early mornings for me, and with the stress of, you probably know that Tad and I are moving, thus you can't really see the mess over there, but there's a ton of boxes. Life is a little more stressful right now because we're in this transition phase, and with all this corona stuff still on the loose, just all of the stuff in life, I had pretty bad symptoms in terms of adrenal fatigue and stress, and so I was extremely tired. I had to take quite a bit of naps last week. I felt lethargic, and then when I feel extremely tired, I feel more, I lean more towards, sugary or salty foods, which obviously are not the best. And so I really struggled with trying to find rest and also stay encouraged and uplifted in this time of choosing better foods for my body. And so even though I still got to the gym and I still did fairly well on my macros, I definitely could have done better. I think just with all the stress, it was a lot. So just being honest, week 2 was not that great for me. It was still good though, you know, like it wasn't awful and it could have been way worse, but I think I would have seen better results if I had really stuck to the program and really tracked all my macros, but I think I still did fairly well for the circumstances. But as we've been doing this challenge, I've kind of had a little bit of a philosophy change, not totally, but in terms of this challenge, I think I really want to lean even more into the long-term goals. I think that this challenge, I don't want people to feel the way that I feel, and the way I feel is discouraged because I made a few mistakes or, you know, didn't eat completely clean or whatever. How my thoughts on all of this are kind of changing is I want to have the long-term desire to eat well. I don't want to just hone in on 6 weeks of my life and decide to eat well for 6 weeks. I want to choose to eat well for the rest of my life. And obviously not perfectly, but I want it to be long term. And so I had to reevaluate my macros. I had to reevaluate my numbers because with the amount of exercise and movement I was doing, I was not eating enough carbs. I was eating at kind of wrong times of the day, forgetting to eat breakfast, you know, things like that. And so I've had to reevaluate as well that, oh, maybe week 2 didn't work out because I was under eating, or maybe week 2 was not going well because I didn't get enough sleep and wasn't resting enough. And so that's what I want you to do this next week is if you feel like me, if you feel discouraged, if you feel shot down a little bit by your progress or whatever, or lack of progress, I want you to reconsider the foods that you're eating. I want you to reconsider the amounts of foods you're eating. I want you to reconsider how often you're working out. If you feel like you went really hard these last 2 weeks and you're exhausted, then you probably worked out maybe 1 or 2 too many days. If you feel hungry all the time, you probably aren't eating enough protein or you're not eating enough carbs. I'm not a nutritionist and I can't really tell you you know, what you should or shouldn't do. I do believe in listening to your body, and if you're hungry, then eat. You know, maybe start to search and research, you know, what proteins do for your body, what carbs do for your body. And there are websites, I can probably link them below actually in the description, that give you an idea of how, they're like macro calculators. And so they can give you an idea of what you should eat. And so maybe you're eating too much or too little or whatever. And so this week I want you to reevaluate what you've been doing. What do you think is going well? What do you think is not going well? And that's what I have to do. I feel discouraged. I think I did pretty well, but maybe I can adjust my macros. Maybe I just need to make sure I'm in bed by 9 or 10 o'clock at night so that I get a good night's rest for the next day. You know, just evaluating what you've done so that you can be more successful the next time around. So the next segment of this video is going to be some of the recipes that I used this last week that I enjoyed so much. And so here's some of those clips.
I love big salads, so I'll do lettuce, tomato, avocado, chicken thigh, and salsa. And instead of sour cream, I use low-fat, very high-protein, plain yogurt. I love wraps, so I've been making these wraps with avocado and tomato. And then if you don't know what Trader Joe's everything seasoning is, it is literally the best stuff in the world. It makes all your food taste amazing. These wraps here are the Mission wraps. They're like spinach wraps, and I usually cut them in half because they're ginormous, but it helps cut the carbs. But they're like a really good wrap to use if you really like eating wraps. I eat a lot of ground turkey. I usually get like 7% fat because it tastes a little yummier, but turkey is high in protein, no carbs, and then in my wraps I'll throw in a piece of bacon if I really feel like it and I have the fat to spare. So that was dinner one night. The other thing I love is making spaghetti squash instead of eating noodles, so I cut the gluten. So you just crack that baby open. I slice my finger like an idiot, so once you're done slicing your finger, you put that on a pan, you get the seeds out, season it with olive oil and salt and pepper. And once you're done seasoning, you're going to pop it in the oven at 400 for about 45 minutes. And this was my 200-pound deadlift the other day.
Okay, so now I'm gonna share my measurements with you guys and my weight. I told you guys I weighed 170 the first video. I weighed myself the next day and I was a pound heavier, And then I weighed myself this morning and I was 170 again. So like I'm the same weight. Technically, I guess I lost a pound. I don't know. But I'm basically the same weight. But what I want to mention is my measurements. So I like to measure because I lift weights. I want to hone in on measurements though, because measurements are crucial. You can stay the same weight, but still like get smaller and like lean up, because if you're lifting weights like me, you get stronger, right? You build muscle. And so you could be replacing fat with muscle, and muscle weighs more than fat. And so I could have lost 2 pounds of fat and gained a pound of muscle. I don't know. I haven't really calculated that. But my measurements have dropped. So I know that I'm toning down and I'm getting leaner. I'm just the same weight. So my leg was 26 1/4. So that was like a quarter dropped from last time. My lower tummy was 36, which is an inch smaller than my first measurement at 37. And I think this is wrong. Maybe it lifted, I don't know. But my butt today was 42 1/4, which is like an inch and a quarter more than last time, which seems a little drastic. Maybe, I don't know. I have no idea. I did a lot of squats the last 2 weeks, so that could be possible. It could have been an inaccurate measurement, but I don't know about that one. So as you can see, even just losing the inch in my lower tummy to me is like a win. I'm like, that's great. You know, that's an area that I'm insecure about and that I really do want to lose. But yeah, what I really want to emphasize is that it's not always the weight or the measurements that show your success. If you feel good, if your clothes fit better, if your overall mood and your energy levels are better, that's still a win, right? Like, we're still choosing healthier things for our body, and we're deciding to not cave into every single craving, and we're trying to feed our body the way that it needs to be fed. And so if you just overall feel better, even that's good. I mean, it's only been 2 weeks, and I have to tell myself this too. It's only been 2 weeks, and so we're not gonna lose, you know, someone texted me they lost 5 pounds. Good for you, Josh, that's awesome. But not all of us are, and that's okay. Wherever you're at, I just want you to know, is totally fine. And we're just gonna continue kicking this thing in the butt, and 4 weeks from now, we'll be done. But not really, because this is gonna be just the kickoff and the beginning of your new healthy lifestyle that you're gonna continue choosing for the rest of your life. I hope and pray. All right, so now we're gonna do that little twirly twirl thing. I'll have to take pictures. I know you can't really compare like this little twirly video, like me spinning around, compared to the other one. So maybe I can capture images from the other video and then like back them up and put them on here somewhere or something like that. Also, I'm not wearing the same shorts. I used them for a workout the other day, and so they're dirty, so sorry. So there you have it. Yeah, not a whole lot of difference, but it's only been 2 weeks, and at least I feel better overall, and my energy has been a little better besides the stress, but I don't feel as bloated. I don't feel as lethargic. I feel like I'm choosing foods that keep me sustained for longer, which feels really good too. So I think that, you know, for me, I'm doing the best I can in this crazy season. And I think that's the biggest part is, you know, we're never gonna have a perfect time to get healthy. There's always gonna be life happening. We're always gonna be alive. And so there's always gonna be something that can hinder us, something that can push us back. And so these 6 weeks are just a small glimpse of the rest of your life. So I want us to learn how to really function from a place of treating our bodies well, even during all of the crazy things that happen in life. And so just really pray and hope that you're doing well and that you're encouraged. Please continue to reach out to me. I'm doing my best to kind of reach out to you guys individually, make sure that you're doing well. I know some of you have mentioned some big life things that have happened that are really, that are just really hard. And so I'm really sorry for that just being such an inconvenience to you trying to reach your goals. But I think that's kind of a lesson we all need to learn, right? Is just choosing to continue to eat good things for our body the best we can while life is crazy. That's what's gonna help us reach our long-term goals. So thank you guys so much. I'm so excited to continue doing this with you. Please, if you haven't already, like this video and subscribe to my channel. It helps a lot, and I kind of want to do an experiment to see if I say it at the end of my videos, hey, subscribe, 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 that maybe I get more subscriptions. So if you feel like you've learned something today, or if you feel encouraged, please subscribe to my channel. It really helps my ministry. Share this video to your friends if you feel like they need to continue on the challenge too, or even all the other videos on my channel too. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a blessed week, and we will do a check-in in 2 weeks, but I post every Monday at 8 a.m. So make sure to come back then and see the next video. Thanks guys, bye.